film is perfect, but if any film has ever come close in its lifespan, then of course, it's Jurassic Park. The script is brilliant, the effects are amazing, the direction is top notch, and the acting is world class. What else can I say? It's a masterpiece. And when people ask me what my favourite film of all time is, I need not to think. I just need to simply point out my finger and say, there it is. Then everybody knows what I'm talking about. The film bases around a scientist, Dr. Ian Malcolm, a paleontologist, Dr. Alan Grant, and a paleobotanist, Dr. Ellie Sadler, and a lawyer, Ronald Gennaro, who visit a remote island off the coast of Costa Rica that has been turned into a dinosaur park and is now owned by none other than Father Christmas. Just kidding, he wasn't in Miracle on 34th Street till 1994. So no, actually the park is owned by billionaire John Hammond. Anyway, at the park they encounter a Brachiosaurus and get stunned by their disbelief. In this scene there's a short moment where Grant gets corrected by Hammond about the height of the creature's neck.
This thing's got what, a 25, 27-foot neck? Brachiosaurus 30.
Now the reason why I've pointed this out is because it reminds me of something I've seen before.
That's a 20-footer.
25.
They then head off to the visitor centre, watch an explanation video, watch a raptor hatch out of an egg, and see a cow get eaten by the adults. Adult raptors, that is. They then eat lunch, meet Hammond's grandkids, and head back off into the park.
What do they got in there, King Kong?
As they do, one of the park's technicians, Dennis Nedry, shuts down the security systems and steals some dinosaur embryos. The dinosaurs then break out of their pens and all hell breaks loose. The sequence where the Tyrannosaurus breaks out is my favourite in the entire film. It's just brilliant. Most of the sequence is done using the late Stan Winston's magic of live-action machines, and the rest is accomplished by polished and perfected CGI, and not the crap you see today. And that pretty much sums up the film in terms of effects. They used live-action when they could, and when they couldn't, they used revolutionary, computer-generated imagery. This sequence also gave birth to the famous rings of water in the glass, as well as the lawyer meeting his maker on the toilet. So we then see the backstabbing staff member Nedry trying to open his car door. He then crashes into a signpost, picks it up and takes a gamble. He then continues on his journey to the boat dock, where he then crashes into a fallen log and gets stuck. He then falls down the slope, attaches the pull cable to the tree, and then encounters a Dilophosaurus. He then talks to it, throws a stick, gets spat in the face and hits his head. As he falls, the canister full of dinosaur embryos falls down the slope into a mud pile. Nedry then gets in his jeep, shuts the door and gets slaughtered. Who would have thunk it? After saving the boy Tim from the car that was stuck in the tree, courtesy of the Tyrannosaurus, Grant gets stuck with the kids and tries to head back to the visitors centre. Meanwhile, Ellie and Robert, the park warden, go and save the wounded Ian Malcolm where they get chased by the Tyrannosaur. Now I'm going to take this opportunity to briefly talk about Ian Malcolm's character. He's hysterical. He's the guy with all the right lines and all the right laughs. And he gives such a brilliant performance in the entire film. He's not seen as much in the film as his other co-stars, but when he is, he makes himself noticed.
Now eventually you do plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right? Hello? Hello? Yes?
I really hate that man.
Even in situations like this, he still manages to make some sort of witty comeback to follow.
Think I'll have that on the tour?
He's not the classic comic relief included in pretty much every film these days. He's his own character, and his portrayal by Jeff Goldblum is brilliant. I'd say he was definitely my favourite character in the film. Aside from the Tyrannosaurus, of course. Anyway, after narrowly escaping the Tyrannosaur, they head back to the control room where Arnold, aka Samuel Jackson, turns off the main power switch.
Hold on to your butts.
He then turns it back on and leaves for the maintenance shed, alone, to try and reboot the system. Eventually, after the passing of time, Ellie goes to reboot the system herself. Robert protects her to the entrance, but then he sees that they have a slight problem.
We can make it if we run.
No, we can't.
Why not?
Because we're being hunted.
Oh, God.
In the bushes straight ahead.
Ellie then runs on cue to the shed as Robert hunts down the hunter. In the shed, she turns on the power and encounters one of the adult raptors.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business.
She then finds Arnold's severed arm and runs away.
Mr. Arnold.
As she does, we return to Robert, who goes to put down one of the raptors, but then gets ambushed and killed.
Clever girl.
Meanwhile, Tim gets electrocuted after failing to climb down the electric fence before the power switches back on. Grant then resuscitates him and takes him back to the visitors centre, where the kids find an untouched banquet of food waiting for them. Grant then reunites with Ellie as the kids begin to eat. The girl Lex then discovers that a raptor is coming into the centre, and she shakes her green jelly in fear. The pair then hide in a dark kitchen, but the raptor follows and tries to open the door. After succeeding, the raptor calls its mate and together they scour the kitchen, looking for the kids. This sequence really does put you on the edge of your seat. Because of the suspense and the tension build up, it actually feels like you're in the film.
Our lives are in your hands and you have butterfingers?